right, bringing the conversation back home, the senator representing Kogi Central District in the National Assembly, Senator Natasha Uduaghan, has accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of making inappropriate advances towards her during a past visit to his country home in Akwa Ibom. Senator Uduaghan was a guest earlier today here on Arise News, and in the course of that interview recounted the alleged incident, which she said took place last December, a day before both of them marked their birthdays. That allegation comes in the wake of a heated session in the Senate last Thursday when Akpabio ordered sergeants at arms to remove her from the chamber following a dispute over seating arrangements. Before this time, the Kogi senator, one of only 4 women in the entire Senate, had slammed a 100 billion naira lawsuit on the Senate president for allegedly defaming her. Well, here's what she said earlier about her dispute with Senator Akpabio.
We're in his house in the Kotekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyu, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just 3 of us. We're walking around from room to room. And then he got to this particular sitting room and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. And the Senate President is allowed to counter that.
Well, we're now being joined for her thoughts on all of that by Senator Ireti Kingibe, who represents the Federal Capital Territory on the platform of the Labour Party. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Newsday.
Good afternoon.
All right, Senator Kingibe, let's get straight into it. I'd like to start at the very top with the mention of your name in that interview, where it was alleged that you called Senator Akpoti's husband on 2 occasions. The first was to report that truly she was experiencing a form of harassment from the Senate president. And then the second was to give a form of instruction to tell her to withdraw the lawsuit that she has made. Can you give us your perspective, your side of the story, of your interaction between yourself and Senator Akpoti and her husband?
Before I answer that question, I would like to start with certain premises. One, I'm just here on behalf of myself and the other 2 women in the Senate. 2, I'm also here as the Senate chairperson for Women Affairs. The other premise is that since there are only 4 women, we've all 4 of us been particularly close. Senator Natasha and I have been also even closer because I take her as my daughter, as I'm old enough to be her mother, and I guide her since, in truth, the Senate is predicated on ranking, and we were there a whole 6 months before her. So I'm able to tell her how things are done. Look at this, go here, check that out. So that, and then the day in question, I was not in the Senate. I was in NMPC hospital. When I came out of the hospital, my driver said to me, "Madam, there's wahala in the Senate." I said, "What about?" He didn't tell me, he just said Senator Natasha. As soon as I heard her name, as I always do with everything that concerns her, I promptly called her. I said, "Natasha, what's going on?" He said, he started to try to explain about seating. She had not given me the proper explanation. I had not been given the opportunity to respond when she said to me, "I'll call you back, I'll call you back." Till today, Senator Natasha has not called me back. I have a smartphone. Before I called Senator Natasha's husband, I had called Senator Natasha twice without response. Then I called him to say, "I've called her twice, she's not answering me." He said, "Oh, she went to Singapore. Maybe that's why." And then I said to him, this is not the way this should be handled. Now, let's go on to other things. The reason we've heard it said everywhere that the 3 women in the Senate have been silent. Yes, because silence is golden, especially when one of us is not following the rules. And as women, we did not want to come out publicly to say anything negative about her. And we were hoping all of this will blow over, as a lot of things do. Now, the truth of the matter is, yes, the Senate is not gender-friendly, but it has been improving, much better than when we first entered the Senate, I must say. And the truth of the matter is, when we make a fuss and we draw the attention of the Senate President, he does correct it. Truly, the Senate can do better than it's doing, but there's hardly anything that's been done to us that's not done to other men. It is more appropriate to say that the Senate is not opposition-friendly. Now, the Senate leadership may not be gender-friendly, but I must say the majority of the senators, they are very kind and they are conciliatory to us. They look out for the fact that women, some of them have been there before. They guide us on, do it like this, do it that way. And slowly, even I can say, without anybody repudiating that fact, that I am the singular senator that fights the Senate President the most. But I have learned to do it. If it arises on plenary, I deal with it there, especially when it's on issues to do with my constituency. When it's on other issues of privileges, I go and meet him when all the senators are in the dining room, and I fight with him there and get the support of other senators. Senate is a place where the majority takes the day. So then also I want to say something. Us women in the Senate, in fact, to be honest, Senator Natasha has gotten the most privilege of all the four of us. The seat I'm sitting in now have been moved 4 times. Senator Ipalibo Baligo has been moved at least twice.
All right. Senator Ireti.
No, please let me finish. I brought myself here. Then you can ask me.
Yes, but we also have a few minutes with you.
To the issue.
So can you just make it brief, because we do have follow-up questions.
It's all right.
All right.
I will make it brief. I wanted to say that this is about the rules of the Senate. So if I can point out that other women have been moved several times. On that day, I wasn't there, but I gather that several men were also moved. And I'm only here as chairperson of Women Affairs. I want women to know we have to follow the rules of the institution we choose to enter. And that is mostly the point of this visit here. Whether there's, sexual harassment between them, they already had personal relationships before they came to the Senate.
All right.
The 3 of us had no relationship with Senator Akpabio before we came.
All right, Senator
So I'm ready for your questions now.
Yes.
And the question you asked me, I don't have enough of a relationship with Senator Akpabio to discuss sexual harassment with Senator Akpabio. When I go to the Senate and my neighbors or Senator Natasha is not there, I collect documents on their behalf. I collected some from Senator Natasha, informed her. She said she was home. I went to her house. I'm answering the question. I got there. She told me, after offering a meal, that she's supposed to discuss something with him, and he said to meet her in some hotel. I said to her, you only meet
Senator Iweti, I'm sorry, I have to be coming at this point. We have limited time with you. Pardon me, I have tried.
You asked me a question.
My colleague asked you a question.
So if you just want a yes or no, I'll tell you no. I did not. I was trying to tell you what transpired. And as we were discussing, her husband came in. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So that I could not have said so. I don't know.
All right. That's noted.
That's all I'm asking. You asked me a question, madam.
My colleague asked you the question. Thank you for getting to it eventually. Now,
I cannot see any of you, so pardon me.
It's okay. We're fine. We're just having a conversation here. You've made it clear the parts that you're aware of and what you're also unaware of. But some statements that you made, you did say that the Senate is not gender friendly, but it's been improving. And what is done to women is also done to men. That doesn't sound like it makes this experience okay. It also sounds a bit, to an extent, like you're minimizing Senator Natasha's experience, since you're saying that what she might have experienced is not something exclusive, but it's something that other people also experience. Now, I'm just wondering, as Nigerians, we most likely did not sign up for the senators to indulge in what is happening or engage in what's happening at the moment. I'm wondering how this public discourse, or discord, I should say, impacts the citizens' confidence in the Senate. Also, as a citizen of Nigeria, I would like to know your answer to that question.
It impacts it very negatively, and that's the only reason I have been sick. From here, I'm going to the hospital. It's the only reason I came. The Senate is not a place where we are supposed to be fighting over trivialities like sitting arrangements. It's a place where we're supposed to fight about issues that affect the people. And that's why this whole thing is a non-issue. If we were fighting, the truth, when I say it's not gender-friendly, we expected, because there were only 4 of us, that we'll get privileges. But we don't get them. We fought to get there, and the fight continues until we can get more women in the Senate. So if we don't get privileges, we don't get them. But it does not mean that we don't get our rights. The 3 of us have not been sexually harassed. That's not to say if Senator Natasha can prove that she has been, that is fine. We will support her. But she's never discussed it with us. We don't know about it. She did not respond to the rest of the female senators. She has not spoken to any of us throughout this whole episode. From change of seat to now, Senator Baligo was with her, tried to talk to her that it can be resolved. She did not listen to her. So I'm coming to say that women of Nigeria have larger things in front of them. We are trying to pass special bills, 35% inclusion. We cannot be fighting over where we sit. And it really denigrates the institution in a manner that's not beneficial to Nigeria, the people, or the women. That's all I'm here to say.
All right. Well, some people would have said that Rosa Parks shouldn't have fought for her seat in what became a historic movement for the empowerment of not just black people, but women as well. So sometimes it begins with a fight over a seat. Now, don't you think that this whole debacle has now opened us up to bigger conversations? Number one, around the possibility that there may be some sort of harassment, sexual advancement happening behind the scenes. As we are well aware, it happens in several institutions around Nigeria. Are you dismissing that it is absolutely impossible that anything of this nature could be taking place?
No, I'm not saying it's impossible. No, it's not impossible. Remember, the issue was seat assignment. If we've been in the Senate a year and a half, I doubt that it was the day that this happened. Senator Natasha, I go to the other senators, female senators, with an issue. And they tell me, okay, you leave it. You're more confrontational than us. We will handle it. Senator Natasha has never discussed with the rest of us senators. And I speak on behalf of the 3 of us. We are older than Senator Natasha. We're wiser. We've seen a lot of things. So, and we've taken her, I have taken her as my child. There's no reason for me not to support her. Even over the change of local content, I was going to take it up with the Senate president. She told me she preferred where she was. And then I dropped it. Before that, I was the first person to take Senator Akpabio on about the market. He didn't even realize he had offended us until I tabled it. So the impression that she's all alone, it's not right and it's not correct.
All right, Senator.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I just say I don't know about it.
All right, Senator Ireti King, we appreciate your time and insight, and we hope that all the issues that you've highlighted are some you end up challenging them while you're a senator to make it a better platform. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsday.